Hey guys, today I'm gonna talk about imposter syndrome. Have you ever felt like an imposter in work or in school? If you do, well, you're not alone. I spent almost 6 years in graduate school doing a PhD in economics, and not a single minute went by when I didn't feel like I'm a huge imposter. I'm just faking this thing and people are gonna find out in the next 30 seconds. That was also how I felt for pretty much the majority part of my first job out of school. This is actually not an uncommon experience, especially among women. I remember when I got together with my girlfriends, we were both in our late 20s, and sometimes we would talk about work, how tough our bosses are, and how inadequate we felt. But mind you, it wasn't that we were lagging behind in our schoolwork or in our job. We were all actually doing pretty well. But there was always this nagging feeling inside of me that says, this just doesn't feel right. I don't know what I'm doing here. Somebody's gonna find out about this and they will make me wear an imposter hat on my head and make me walk in public wearing this. And I thought maybe I just wasn't confident enough. And that was indeed the diagnosis many experts gave on imposter syndrome. I just googled the phrase the other day and find tons of advice pieces on the internet. They all advise women to be more confident and have more trust in our ability. I have a big problem with these advices. When you call something a syndrome, the implicit assumption is there is something wrong with it. You shouldn't feel this way and something about you that needs to change. I thought that way too. I tried to be confident. I tried to imitate my male colleagues. And I tried to push this nagging feeling of discomfort away and pretended that it doesn't exist. I wish I could tell you it had worked. But I didn't. Until one day I realized there was nothing wrong with me feeling like an imposter, because I am. I was simply a round peg in the square hole of the existing system. The modern university and corporate systems were both invented in Europe a few hundred years ago with the Industrial Revolution. Those systems, also most of the modern jobs, were invented by men. The modern jobs are analytical, left-brained, and clearly defined. It values brain more than heart. It values structure, logic, plan, hierarchy, and the qualities that are more masculine, rather than the values that are more natural to women, such as creativity, empathy, and connection. That's why working in a corporate environment feels alien to many of us. No matter how much you consciously believe that this is the way it should be, and you consciously tell yourself you'd better get on with a program of corporate rehabilitation, your instinct says, I don't give a shit. This is not who I am. And you're bound to feel like an imposter if you force yourself to fit in the role that doesn't fit your natural aptitude. Does that mean you just have to get out of corporate America to feel happy? Not necessarily. Because the culture in corporate America is changing and you are part of the change as long as you are clear about the following. The cure of imposter syndrome is not to make yourself imitate your job. It's to make your job imitate you. Imitate who you are. When we are being who we really are, that's when we are the happiest and most powerful. That's your ideal starting point to make a real impact in the world. So how do you do this exactly? First of all, bring more of you to your job. Start with small things. Things like how you decorate your cubicle, how you interact day to day with your colleagues. Do not be the faceless corporate man or woman. I have a friend who told me, oh, I don't like my job because I don't really get to know people at work. Everybody's just wearing their corporate mask. If you feel this way, then start wearing less of your mask yourself. That's how you encourage other people to do the same. Secondly, ask yourself whether the way you do things at work truly reflect who you are. Some experts will tell you, well, to succeed in your career, you have to compete for the hottest assignments, you have to speak up, you have to network with powerful people. There's nothing wrong with doing any of that. But before you do, ask yourself, does it make you feel good? If you find yourself doing certain things just because, oh, it's what everybody else is doing, or I'm afraid of missing out, then stop. Reflect. As much as you can, do things only out of your heart's desire. And thirdly, experiment and find ways to create new values at your job by being who you are. If you are a business, you don't go around asking your customer to think of a new product or service that you can provide. You observe your customer's unsatisfied need and think of the product yourself. Same thing applies to your job. The terms of reference for any job is most likely written by people who only know what already exists. Your company doesn't consciously know what is missing until you are providing that missing ingredient. And your job is to be observant. Notice where you can bring value and create projects and assignments for yourself that utilizes what you are naturally good at. I'm not saying this is easy. Being yourself takes guts and a lot of clarity, because all of us have a strong instinct to conform. But it all starts with you recognizing there's nothing wrong with you, even when you feel like an imposter. Okay, that's all for today. If you have questions on today's topic, shoot them in the comment section below. I will also write a blog post on the imposter syndrome, so stay tuned. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and share. I love you, and see you next time.